Miss Katz, public speaking, 1315. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to talk to you today about mental health in the Black community. We're going to talk about breaking down barriers and stigma. So, mental health issues in the Black community has a higher rates of depression, anxiety, and trauma due to systematic racism and discrimination. The lack of access to resources and cultural competency in counseling, and stigma and shame perpetuated by societal expectations and internalized racism. So, has anybody in the room ever dealt with mental issues or mental health issues based off your surroundings and the people around you?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And that
Great.
was a
That's
lie.
great. That sounds great. Okay. So, has anyone ever realized how hard it is to get help with your mental issues or your mental health issues in the Black community?
Yes.
Did you know that 20% of Black people are less likely to go get mental health than other races?
Oh no.
Can you tell, not based on percentage, but can you tell in the lack of
Well, yeah, a little
resources
because
in
of
order
the
to-
stigma.
Right.
Yeah, in a sense.
So
Yeah.
people don't want to be labeled as the crazy violent Black man, or
Right.
maybe the angry Black woman or the pessimistic woman. You know, sometimes that stigma can keep you from going to get help, especially when healthcare providers are predominantly other races.
Right.
The Black community, like I said before, is 20% more likely to experience serious mental health issues than the general population. Only 4% of psychologists in the U.S. are Black or African American. Like I said before, when you go to the doctor or when you go to a psychiatrist, therapist, whatever you prefer, usually they are not our skin tone. They're not usually a Black or African American individual. So there is enough room for you to feel like this person may judge you, or you can't be completely honest about what you're going through because they might judge you, or they might lock you up and say, oh, this person's crazy, when there could be other remedies to heal your mental illnesses. So, 3 ways that we can break down barriers and stigma in the Black community when it comes to mental health issues and getting help and resources for that is the increase in funding for culturally competent and mental health services and training programs. So, in order to get your mental health in good shape and to say that you're a healthy individual, mind, body, and soul, we need the financial resources to be able to do that. So, healthcare should be more accessible to the Black community because with healthcare you have access to different therapists, different psychologists, and you can actually see what's the underlying issues with your mental health.
And affordable.
Affordable, right? Because we do have programs that you can pay to be seen, but as you can tell, a lot of Black people don't have the funds or the financial stability to be able to go get the help that they need. So, reducing stigma through education and awareness campaigns. So if we can kind of reach out, each one teach one, kind of help our friends of other races lower the rate of stigma, meaning like you can come to your friend and say, hey, I'm going through this mental health issue, without them like, oh girl, you're crazy, or giving you some type of derogatory thing.
He just had a mental health issue, and we got him through that, brother. You remember?
Oh yeah, we find his ass up.
Boom, hold that thought. So with that being said, that's something that I will talk about later in the speech, that we do need more help in our own community, in the Black community, to be able to fall back on when we need help with our mental crises.
Right.
So that is a very commendable thing that you were able to do for your friend. I really appreciate that addition. So we also need to be able to have a foster community based on initiatives and support groups. So when we don't have a family to turn to or an immediate friend group to turn to, we should be able to have people in the community that we can go out and kind of receive that same familiar love or care when it comes to our mental health, rather than just physical health, or you have the flu and your friends want to come over and take care of you and nurse you back to health. But rather, when you're having a mental health crisis, people tend to stay away and they don't want to come near and make themselves accessible to the issues, because their mental health might not be as stable enough to even help you, you know, being that they may not have the resources to get mental help. The power of the community is a very big thing with mental health issues. Community-based initiatives can help reduce stigma and improve mental health outcomes. The entire community comes together, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, indifferent, doesn't matter. If we can all come together and understand that mental health is not a racial thing. Everybody deals with mental health, no matter what race, what ethnicity, everybody deals with some sort of chemical imbalance because none of our imbalances are the same. So support groups can provide a safe place for sharing experiences and finding support. So you may be able to find a support group that might not charge, or people who suffer with the same issues that you do that you may be able to reach out to. And then maybe, you know, everyone can help each other. You know, with that, that's another thing with the community support. That would be one of the ways to reduce stigma and the lack of resources to mental health issues.
Right.
So we want to break the silence and take action. We don't want to just sit back and just say, oh, I'm crazy, but I'm making it. Or I'm waking up and I don't feel okay in the head, but I'm just going to get up and go to work and deal with 100 people today. You know, which can further stress you out, further cause more anxiety, further depress you based off of the things around us. You know, those things really do have a big part in our mental health. We want to encourage open conversations about mental health instead of it being not very common upon conversations. We want that to be a conversational topic that's not like you may feel embarrassed about, or you might not feel like you are free enough to speak with your closest people in your circle about your mental health. So we want to encourage each other to be able to speak to us, and we want to be able to encourage the fact that we can speak to our friends as well. So support organizations working to improve mental health outcomes in the Black community. So the Black community, obviously, we're our own in one. The community might have 1,000 resources for mental health, but us, we may have to work a little bit harder to get to those resources. So to make things easier, we can create our own support organizations that can further or strengthen your mental health. And you want to also advocate for policy changes to address mental health disparities. So like in the workplace, how we don't have, like for instance, my job, we don't have actual breaks. We don't have a break to just sit down and say, I need a second to assess myself mentally. I don't have a time to be like, okay, well, everything around me right now is going hectic, it's going crazy. I need a minute to sit down and just relax and check on myself, right?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
And that, how does that play out with your mental health?
Great.
So do you feel like you have you ever been in a situation where you may feel like you weren't able to do that? And now that you've gotten like a little bit more in tune with yourself, you're able to block out those things and get a moment for yourself regardless of what the situation is?
Yes.
So do you think that that was an exercise that built that in your character?
Yes.
That's a great example. So the more that you practice self-health, mentally, physically, your diet, you know, all those things can contribute to your mental health. Once you get that concept down, you can then begin your mental health journey. That's when you can begin to think about what is the best for you to create stable mental health. So that is very good. That's not something that we all can master. So I want to give you your props on that. So I just want to let everybody know that everybody struggles with mental health, and we don't want to make that look like it's something that's so uncommon. And we can work together to create a supportive environment where we can thrive and seek help without fear of judgment.
Yay!
Thank you for your time.